On a fateful summer, July 3, 2014, 15-year-old cheerleader and athlete Megan Nichols mysteriously vanished from her family home less than 2 weeks before her 16th birthday, leaving behind a wiped cell phone and a cryptic note. Her sudden disappearance didn't just devastate her loved ones. It shook the entire Fairfield community to its core. This is the heartbreaking story of Megan Nichols and the community that never stopped fighting for her. A troubled relationship. The chilling tale began when Megan, a talented musician, first met 17-year-old Brodey Murbarger in their high school glee club. The pair soon developed feelings for each other. But Megan's mom, Kathy Jo Hutchcraft, who had given birth to Megan at just 19, disapproved of the relationship due to their age difference. Kathy Jo told Dateline, "I had this rule. We're not going to have a boyfriend. You can be friends, but we're not going to have this boyfriend thing going on until you're 16. You don't need to put a label on it." Megan's friends also had concerns about the romance, as Brodey was reportedly seeing both Megan and another girl from school simultaneously in a messy love triangle. Despite his mother's recent passing, Brodey continued to string Megan along until Kathy put her foot down and demanded Megan cease all contact with him. Just days later, Brodey showed up at Kathy's doorstep, reportedly accusing her of being too controlling of her daughter and needing medication. He even hinted at involving child protection services against Kathy in a follow-up text. Following this confrontation, Megan's friends noticed she began hiding things and became more secretive. The day Megan vanished. On July 3, 2014, tensions reached a boiling point. Megan and Kathy had been helping a family friend move when Megan complained of a stomach ache. Kathy took her home before going back out to finish up. When she returned around 11:35 p.m., Kathy was suddenly hit with a heavy feeling of fear as she entered the house. Megan was nowhere to be found in her room. She didn't answer her phone or respond to texts, prompting Kathy to immediately report her missing to the sheriff's office. The panicked mother searched Megan's room for clues and made a chilling discovery. "I pulled back her blankets and I saw her cell phone," Kathy recalled. "This phone had no case. It was just upside down and looked different because I'm used to seeing purple or pink or something flashy. I picked it up, pushed the button, and it said hola, hello, as if it was a brand new phone." Megan's iPhone had been completely wiped. Elsewhere in the house, Kathy found a handwritten note to Mom that said, "I love you, but I'm never going to be happy here. Don't come looking for me because why spend a lifetime looking for someone who doesn't want to be found?" Desperate for answers, Kathy drove to Brodey's house around 7:30 a.m. and found him washing his car. He denied knowing Megan's whereabouts, claiming all he knew was that Megan didn't want to live with Kathy anymore and was planning to move in with her dad. However, Megan's father, who had been largely absent until the previous year, said he had no recent contact with her. Search for Megan. At first, Fairfield police treated Megan's case as a runaway situation. But as searches around town yielded no signs of the teen, her status was changed to endangered missing. Months turned to years with no trace of Megan. It became clear this was not a typical runaway case. So, what really happened to Megan Nichols that summer day? Investigators caught a break when CCTV footage showed Megan withdrawing $200 from the family's account, leading them to believe she had run away. Money had been withdrawn on July the 3rd around 2:00 p.m., said Hutchcraft. That's the same time Megan went on a bike ride earlier in the day before she went home not feeling well. The last images of Megan were from this ATM surveillance video. It showed her riding her bike up to the bank, withdrawing money. That was right before she vanished. When questioned, Brodey maintained he and Megan were just friends, and that he had been at his girlfriend's house the night she vanished. Brodey made a Facebook post in regard to Megan's disappearance. "Okay, this has gone on long enough. I had nothing to do with this, and that I have nothing to hide. I am not in the video as she withdrew her money and ran from her family. This is the first time I have spoken up to defend myself. I shouldn't even have to defend myself if I am not involved." At the time, police stated that he was not a suspect. But as they dug deeper into their relationship, they discovered that the pair exchanged over 150 texts daily. It became clear Brodey lied about the nature of their friendship, which had turned sexual. The messages also revealed he knew about Megan's plans to run away and had even discussed going with her. Still, police had nothing concrete to go on. With few leads, the investigation gradually went cold. But Megan's family never gave up hope that answers would be found. A shocking discovery. Tragically, nearly 4 years after Megan first disappeared, her worst fears were realized when the teen's remains were discovered buried on a remote farm. Brodey Murbarger would eventually face justice for her murder, but not before a stunning betrayal and secret recording made by someone he considered his best friend. In a shocking twist, Brodey Murbarger's best friend and roommate Kyle Ellis was approached by the FBI in 2018. They presented evidence that Brodey may have been involved in Megan's murder and asked Kyle if he would be willing to secretly record a conversation confronting Brodey about it. Ellis didn't sleep for days after the FBI showed him the new evidence. Fearing what Murbarger might do to others, including a new girlfriend, he agreed to help the FBI in their investigation. Ellis moved out of their shared apartment while Murbarger was out of town, before planning a get-together to explain why he left so abruptly, knowing the FBI would be listening in. On July 2, 2018, the pair met and Ellis began his attempt at coaxing a confession from his best friend. "Why is her blood in your car?" Ellis asked. "That's a good question," Murbarger replied. "I would like to know that, too." When Ellis pressed him further, Murbarger again denied knowing anything about it. And when Ellis directly asked if he had killed Megan, Murbarger firmly responded, "I did not kill Megan." Although Murbarger repeatedly denied any wrongdoing during their conversation, at one point he made a peculiar statement according to FBI agent Ray Hart. Megan's autopsy a few months prior had concluded that she had most likely been strangled or suffocated to death. In his exchange with Ellis, Murbarger began describing his poor physical and mental state the day before Megan disappeared. "I probably couldn't even have lifted my own body weight, much less strangled. If someone with anger issues found out about something and strangled her," Murbarger said. Ellis described this as a pin-drop moment. Murbarger had accidentally exposed his knowledge of how Megan had been killed. While it didn't amount to a confession, it was pretty close. From the very beginning, detectives believed that in a moment of uncontrolled anger, Brodey Murbarger had choked the life out of Megan Nichols, and this verbal slip gave added weight to their suspicions. Brodey Murbarger was arrested in October 2020, over 2 years after Kyle Ellis secretly recorded their conversation for the FBI. Justice for Megan. In October 2022, more than 8 years after Megan first disappeared, Brodey Murbarger finally stood trial for her murder. He maintained his innocence, but prosecutors presented a mountain of damning evidence against him, including the secret recording made by Kyle Ellis. After an intense week-long trial, a jury deliberated for mere hours before unanimously finding Brodey Murbarger guilty of the first-degree murder of Megan Nichols. At his sentencing hearing in November 2022, prosecutors read a letter Brodey wrote from jail in which he callously blamed Megan for her own death, showing no remorse. The judge admonished Brodey for his cruelty before sentencing him to 50 years in prison. Kyle Ellis felt a sense of relief wash over him, knowing that justice had at last prevailed. However, he continues to find his thoughts drifting back to the man he once called his best friend. Megan's mother, Kathy Jo, provided an emotional victim impact statement, describing the unimaginable anguish of losing her only daughter. "It's really hard to put it into words. I dream about her, and then I have to wake up to this. This is hell." Megan's legacy. The ripple effects of Megan's death have been felt far and wide. Her family, friends, school, and the entire Fairfield community remain forever changed by the loss of such a special young soul. Though nothing can bring Megan back, Megan's family takes some solace in knowing that after an arduous 8-year battle, justice has finally been served. Brodey Murbarger will spend decades behind bars, being held accountable for the innocent life he stole. Megan's case captivated the Fairfield community and the nation, shedding light on the importance of taking young people's concerns seriously, no matter how insignificant they may seem at the time. It further highlighted the need for vigilance in protecting young people from predatory relationships and fostering open communication so red flags can be identified before it's too late. By sharing Megan's story, her loved ones hope to prevent other families from enduring similar heartbreak. Authorities and school administrators are now re-examining policies to ensure students feel comfortable coming forward to report inappropriate relationships before they escalate. Megan's mother has become an advocate for other families with missing loved ones, offering support and resources to help them navigate the complex legal system and never stop fighting for answers. She's also working with local schools to implement dating violence prevention and age-appropriate relationship education. Each year on the anniversary of Megan's disappearance, the Fairfield community comes together for a memorial walk to celebrate her life. Purple ribbons, Megan's favorite color, are tied around trees and lampposts all over town in her honor. Scholarships have been created in Megan's name to support Fairfield students pursuing careers helping at-risk youth. The void left by Megan's absence will never be filled, but her loved ones continue to find ways to channel their grief into positive change. Megan's legacy will forever be one of light, love, and the relentless pursuit of justice. If Megan's tragedy can spare even one other victim, then perhaps her death will not have been in vain. As her loved ones continue to honor her memory, Megan's bright spirit will forever shine on. This was Agent Magpie, and remember guys, be good. And if you can't be good, be careful.